All right, James. We just had the Honest FBA guys, Tom and Alex,
Yeah,
on. What do you think?
that was awesome, man. Talking Amazon FBA for anyone looking to get into e-commerce and the things they're doing there. I mean, they're crushing. If anyone follows them on Twitter, you'll see their earnings and how much they're crushing it. But we dive into essentially how they're growing. Jackie pitches himself to take equity in their company, so he can go the SEO side. But yeah, we dive into all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you guys want to hear how much of a savage I could be, if I smell blood, I just pounce. And yeah, just watch me pounce if you have time, give it a listen. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, and then obviously Jackie's pitching SEO for them and starting. I mean, they were kind of averse to doing a blog and trying to, I guess, the potential investment it would take to try and build that. But which kind of brings us to our sponsor, Workallo. So if you wanted to start, if you owned even e-commerce brand or a blog, and you want to get that thing running, and you need to get writers, and you need to get good writers, then you need to go through Workallo because that means you can interview and test hundreds of them to pick maybe your 5 best ones and scale your content versus only interviewing 5 of them yourself and then finding out all 5 are shit, which I have found a lot. And that's just time consuming, waste your money, all that kind of stuff. So go through Workallo. Even Mia here does not consent to trying to hire 5 writers at once. You need to try and get 100 of those tested so you can find the right one. So yeah, check out Workallo. You can go down the description. I think we've got some codes down there for you too to give it a go. It's well worth. I know Jack, you've been using it a lot for hiring various video editors, writers, all sorts.
Yeah. I think Workello markets itself as like a writer only platform. I think the niching down is a good idea, but I just throw all the job descriptions there. So like I got video editors, there are technical writers, and it's just a good way to filter out VAs, at least for me in my use case. But it could be anyone. You could use it as like a HR, CRM, or I don't even know the terms for it. Just go check it out. Index is the coupon code, I believe. Get more for your money and give the pod a listen. Mia agrees, right?
Yep. She's telling me to listen.
Go listen to the pod. What's good, everyone? It's Jackie Chow.
And this is James DeLacy.
And you're listening to This Week in Digital Marketing. All right, welcome to This Week in Digital Marketing. My name is Jackie Chow. James DeLacy is the co-host. We got the Honest FBA guys from Twitter on today. We got Tom and Alex. Why don't you give the audience a quick intro, starting with you, Tom?
Yeah, sure, man. So we're with the FBA guys, I suppose. That's a good moniker to have off Twitter. So we've got we were on James's podcast previously. Mm-hmm. We spoke about a year ago now, I suppose it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got an Amazon FBA business, which we started about 2.5 years ago. Kind of documenting that on Twitter a lot and on YouTube and Instagram now. So we're trying to kind of cross all platforms. And then off the back of that, we also have a kind of a Honest FBA coaching program, essentially, where we teach people to do what we've done. The reason behind the Honest name, I'll let Alex get into it in a bit more detail, is there's a lot of bullshit in the space and a lot of fake gurus, as they say. So kind of we want to be fully transparent from the start about what it really takes to build a business in the space. So that's kind of what we do. And Alex takes a lot of pleasure in calling liars out, basically.
Oh, for real? Nice. Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much what Tom said. Yeah, I mean, the Honest brand, was born out of frustration when I first started Amazon, that I got a little bit misled by a few people, and the industry is just full of people just not really being very truthful about what you can achieve, and it just gives it a bit of a bad taste, because you don't know who you can trust, you don't know who's telling you the truth. So that's why we've always been very transparent. And I saw, Jackie, your tweet yesterday about your earnings, where you broke down all your different earnings, and I was like, that's awesome, man. Like, nobody really does that in spaces like this. People are a little bit shy sometimes about talking about what they earn and stuff like that. And that's always been at the core of our brand, with everything, is telling people the truth. And that's been really important for us. Yeah,
you guys do the earnings screenshots as well, right? Man, your earnings are flying right now. So hold on, let's go back a bit. How did you guys meet? How did you guys get started together? You guys is the FBA brand together as well, or are you guys doing it
Yeah.
separately?
Yeah, together. So
Yeah.
I'm currently in Barcelona in Spain, which is where me and Alex met. So as you can probably tell from our pale skin, we're not local. We moved here kind of 7 and 8 years ago, and we met here in like the expat kind of circle. Became good pals just through. Not many people here were really into business, to be honest, and we were both really interested in it and trying little side hustles previously. So just pre-COVID, we decided we were going to work together. Got the kind of the balls in motion, the wheels in motion. I think I was trying to say. Got moving with it. Started a few projects. We actually were going to launch a travel.
Motion, yeah.
Yeah, not that. No, we aren't that tight yet. But we kind of had a travel brand lined up, a product for a travel brand on Amazon. Luckily, didn't start that because then COVID hit, and then during COVID, we really kind of doubled down. Officially, kind of joined together, launched a product in the UK because Alex was already selling on Amazon in Spain, so we had some experience there. Launched in the UK together, and then at the same time, we were looking at the US basically because we'd seen a lot of opportunity there. So we launched a product in the US, which was the idea was to actually bankroll the initial brand that was in the UK, and it just went so well. And then we had some issues with the UK one, so we just killed the UK, focused on the US, and now we've been growing that brand since August of 2020.
Nice. And now you guys balling out of control. What are you doing with the money? Are you just paying out dividends every month? Are you rolling that back into your inventory? Are you expanding product lines? Like, what's the plan for you guys?
So to be super transparent, we've got the Amazon brand, and then we've got Honest FBA, which is obviously like the course and training community. And the course and training community came from if you really want to rapidly scale an Amazon brand, you've really got to reinvest most of the profits. Sorry.
Oh right, I thought it was me. Yeah. He's gone all.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're there. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, if you really want to scale an Amazon business quickly, you've got to reinvest most of the profits, unless your margins are just absolutely insanely high, which is not very common. So we've not from the actual Amazon brand, we've reinvested everything. And when we started talking about it publicly, that was when people started reaching out to us, asking us, like basically how do you do it? Can you offer coaching, whatever? And yeah, we started the mentorship side, and that was when we saw the opportunity there as well, to create a second really nice cash flowing business that can help us grow as entrepreneurs, but also to raise even more capital to invest into the Amazon brand. Because we're getting to the point now with the Amazon brand where we're looking at certain products where the top sellers are doing, $1 million a month, over $1 million a month. And in order to crack those markets, you need a lot of cash. So it's great for us to have a second sort of income stream. But yeah, we've got some stick sometimes over like selling out, and like there's a lot of hatred around people selling courses because there's so much. Yeah, because there's so much bullshit in the industry. You get a lot of stick for it, and we've always been, like we said, we've always been very transparent with it. But yeah, part of it has been, obviously as entrepreneurs wanting to grow. But it's just great when you've got two businesses that really complement each other, and the skills that we're learning with growing the course business, they actually really help with growing the Amazon business and vice versa. So yeah, we've been reinvesting the money from the actual Amazon brand, and then the course business, that's where we've been, trying to, personally stack some cash up, but also reinvest that as well, because we want to grow and scale that for that to be a 7-8 figure business as well.
Mate, we basically, just to add to that, we lived on savings. Like we had a bit of a runway, each of us. We living on savings for the best part of 2 years, to be honest. Like we just backed ourselves that we'd get to a point where we'd be fine and we could replace the jobs that we left previously. But it seems to kind of shut a few people up on Twitter when they're like, oh, you're just selling courses, you're living off that money. It's like, yeah, like we're called we work called the Honest Entrepreneurs. Like, that's our name. Like, we like businesses, we like starting businesses. Of course, we're interested in making money. Yeah, we like earning money. It's not a secret that it's the core side of the business. Yeah, the margins are great, obviously, because it's much, physical product is very cash intensive. Obviously, selling a product, digital service online, that the margins are way higher, but we were never kind of hiding that. And I think where it derives from is a lot of people start selling courses, they realize how much they can make there, and they just actually give up selling on Amazon. So then they purely just focus on selling courses, which is, we can see why people do it, because the attractions is a quick win. But for us, like Alex said, they kind of complement each other. So if we stop this one, we can't really be justifying selling this one, because we use this, everything we're learning here, we tell all our students here. So for us, like, it's paramount that you're still, if you're teaching how to sell on Amazon, you should be selling on Amazon. That's key. And a lot of people aren't, and people get burned, and then they get a really bad attitude towards anything to do with kind of education, when actually it can really help speed up kind of the whole process of building the business.
Yeah, gotcha. Yo, at least from my buddy, I hear that the FBA industry is kind of like trickling downwards, huh? Like the interest wasn't like the same as, I think, 2 years, like during COVID, during that bull run, everyone was like all up on that, and everyone was like piling into FBA. I've heard it's like drumming up interest is a bit tougher, but I think maybe that's purely because, like, my buddy Tom Wang, I think you guys know them.
Yeah, we know Tom.
Yeah, we spoke with him before, and he's saying at his scale, he's seeing like a lot less interest than before. Are you guys seeing something similar? The valuations are much lower for sure, but I don't know about like student interest,
To be fair, like we launched Honest FBA. It was fairly recent, so it's kind of back end of last year. So I know Tom's been kind of coaching for probably 3-4 years. So I mean, he's got a lot more time in the game, so he might have seen a bit of a drop off. For us, it's exceeded our expectations, to be honest, in terms of the inbound that we've had and the interest. So for us, it's steadily been increasing. Overall in the space, yeah, there was that kind of bull run and the peak of e-commerce almost in COVID, where people were getting crazy valuations, and well, not even crazy. They were good valuations, but they some of the aggregators that were purchasing companies have some of them have gone bankrupt, some of them have gone bust. Other ones have, some of the aggregators, I think, have acquired each other. But we still know of people that are getting exits, and I think it's the same in any business model. A good business is valuable and it's going to get a good multiple. It just depends on what you build. So yeah, FBA is like the model that we've chosen and we want to use, but I think you can really secure a good multiple as long as you follow the fundamentals, which are the same across most businesses. Then your valuation is going to be solid. So we're not honestly worried about that. We think we're seeing people do it. We're seeing people become multi-millionaires quite regularly now. So for us, it's still worth a go.
Yeah. And I also saw Tom do a post where he's talking about onboarding 100 to 200 new students a month. So if that's him winding down and struggling, then I'd love to be in that position. But yeah, I think because I was just quickly checking Google Trends then as Tom was talking, and like I was surprised actually that it's still sort of kind of gradually trending upwards. I think what naturally happens is these things kind of explode at certain times, and you get a lot of interest from people just trying to make a quick buck. But I think it's like what we're teaching. We eventually want to move into doing D2C and also offering that as Honest FBA. The sort of like long-term vision is for it to be a community where you can get into e-commerce. And I think especially with all of the developments with like AI and stuff like that, there's a lot of business models. Like if I was a copywriter right now, I would be looking at like doing something else. Like there's no way I would be investing more time into doing that. Copywriters, graphic designers, I think all of those like niches and industries are going to be heavily disrupted by AI. And I think physical products, that's going to be one of the things that I think is going to stand the test of time if you learn how to do that. And obviously you're going to be able to leverage AI to help you do that. Like a guy that we know, Joshua, based in Barcelona. He's been showing us some of the stuff he's been doing with Midjourney on like product development. And one of the things that we absolutely love about Amazon is developing brands is really fun. So I think physical product businesses, they're not going anywhere, and Amazon is not going anywhere. So there was the bubble that kind of burst with the valuations on these brands and stuff. But like Tom said, I think if you're doing the fundamentals right and you're approaching it in the right way, which within the world of Amazon coaching, there's very few people doing that. The vast majority of people are just, doing it in a very short-term way, which is not what we're trying to do. And just to go back to what Tom said before about us kind of, we're never going to just move into selling courses and completely give up on Amazon because we really enjoy it. So yeah, I think as long as you're doing it in the right way, I think it's still an industry that's really healthy and that there's a lot of interest in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, naturally things have up and downs.
Yeah, how's Honest FBA doing? Are you guys sharing that? Like, what kind of numbers are you guys doing? I don't even know your business model. Sorry, I'm like such a terrible host. I was just on your
website. You got to do your research, cool. Jackie.
No, okay. I just got stuck staring at your two's like funny ass picture on the homepage, and then I just kind of got lost in your guys' eyes.
Yeah, the homepage sucks. We're gonna have to update it. But...
We need to update it. Yeah,
no, it's funny. I like it. Yeah,
we how are we doing that? Yeah, it's kind of steadily growing. To be fair, I think last month we probably onboarded 20 new students, which is like so for us we have like kind of a lower entry level kind of option, and then we have an option which has got kind of all the community and access to myself and Alex. So that's kind of the one that is most popular, to be honest. The people like having the validation kind of their ideas mainly, because that's the kind of scariest part about Amazon. You sold on Amazon, didn't you, Jackie, for a while? I heard you say that on the podcast with Tom.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got clapped. Got clapped left and right. It was good.
Was it candles? Is that right?
Yeah, candles. Vanilla candles, to be exact. Actually, you know what? We expanded to all of them, and they all did like pretty well. It's just, I think at the same time,
all candles.
Yeah, like different flavors of candles.
Right.
Yeah, and we scaled up very quickly because like we thought we had to go fast with because we were in like drop shipping, private labeling, and we're like, yeah, we can probably just crank this. We cranked it, and by the time it reached like the listing was pretty much dead. But like we had long tail keywords such as like lavender candles that we're still ranking for. It just ended up didn't make sense monetarily wise, because like for example, our D2C brand does like 6 figures, and the candles were maybe doing a couple grand, maybe max 20 grand a month. So it was like, not really worth the time. So we're like, all right, we'll just take this 30 grand L in inventory and just liquidate it. But yeah, that's pretty much my FBA journey.
We spoke to a fella a few weeks ago who he at top end he was doing $40 million a year on Amazon, all FBA, which was like absolutely wild. So we ended up a guy working for us now used to work for him, so we kind of got in touch that way, and he was super helpful on some emails. So we jumped on a call with him for it was about an hour 45-minute call, and it was just insane, like the amount of insights we got. And at that kind of scale, I think he was doing one of his products was doing something like 3,000 units a day at his peak.
Shit.
And he's just doing like what I was scared. He exited earlier this year, I think. So now he's just chilling for the next kind of couple of years, I suppose. But he was super interesting. He kind of made us. He broke the frame of what we thought was possible again. I think when we spoke to James previously, I'd say our goal was, we definitely from day one we wanted to. Well, day one was a side hustle, and then we were like, okay, this can be a 7-figure business, like for sure. We kind of were like, look, we can get it to $1 million, $2 million, we'd walk away then. And then we've met people that have sold for kind of late 7s. Then we're getting to like 8 figures plus. And then speaking to this guy, it was just like I said, frame breaking of realizing how big you can go. And now like the niche that we're in, we share everything about our business. We don't share the exact niche we're in. I think we will later this year, to be honest. But a lot of people, there's a lot of kind of cloak and dagger in the Amazon space. So people don't want to share their kind of secret source, I suppose. But the opportunity is just massive. So now, after speaking to him in particular, we're kind of looking at it as let's let's act like we have all the funds. Let's act like we have access to unlimited capital. What are we going to launch next? What can we launch? So we're now kind of laying out this pipeline of all these products that we can go for. So for us, we're kind of working reverse engineering and say, look, we know we got the Amazon ability to sell this. So these products that are doing $500,000 to $1 million a month, we know we can crack that. Can we source suppliers? Do the economics work? Okay, cool. Let's get hold of some cash, and we kind of back ourselves to get hold of cash if need be. So that was amazing for us. And we were going to go to China in October for the Canton Fair. But after speaking to him, he was like, "Let's get out there now." So we're actually going in 2 weeks. So I did actually literally just came back from getting my fingerprints done. So if I don't come back from China, they've nicked me for something. But basically going out there for 12 days, seeing a load of our suppliers. We're there for the Dragon Boat Holiday Festival as well. It should be good. So yeah, man, that's kind of, we've been all systems go and kind of racing towards growth at the minute, which is good fun.
Nice. So I want to ask, like, from when I did FBA, I guess things have changed, right? Let me just give maybe the audience like a quick breakdown of what I did, and then maybe you guys can just tell me if that still works. All right. So way back when we did giveaways, like rebates, but it was like they buy full price and then I just kick back to them on PayPal afterwards, and with like a 5-star review. And I used like chatbots to do it via Facebook. Does that still work?
No. Did you use was there like a tool for that called like Boost Rooster or something like that?
No, I built it.
Oh, you just
like
set it up manually.
ManyChat. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you can still kind of do that illegally. Like there were some tools. There was a tool called Boost Rooster. A guy that we know called Ryan, he started it, and then Amazon changed the rules basically, and they made like the rebates sort of illegal. Like there's still there's still a lot of people doing black hat stuff to do like search, find, buy, and try and game the organic rankings and stuff like that. Like
but that doesn't work.
It works for sure. It just depends what you want to do. It depends how what your risk tolerance is. We're more on the side of doing everything within the rules, sometimes bordering on like the grey hat sort of area. The problem is, the thing is, when you're just starting on Amazon and you're launching one product, you don't really think of the danger. You just think, well, I just want to make this product go well. But then once you get a business to like 7 figures, you really don't want to fuck around. You don't want to risk getting your entire account closed just to get a few extra reviews or to maybe get a boost in organic ranking. And that's why we really preach doing the fundamentals well, great customer experience, great products, and then you naturally get those, the reviews. So I think, yeah, a lot of those old school sort of tactics, like there are people still doing them and making them work, but it just depends on your risk tolerance, basically.
You mean those people are like my people, right?
Like
it's got to be the Chinese
spamming Amazon.
yeah, with like their brand names like 5 consonants in like as a brand name, right?
Yeah, and they're doing everything they can to try and game it for sure. But they've got the advantage that they close down one account, they open up another. Like
exactly.
We don't really have that. We don't really have that as an option. And this is the big sort of challenge right now on Amazon, is like, how do you compete against the Chinese that are, they're using these tactics, they're driving prices down. And that's why you've got to approach it with a little bit more intelligence, really. You've got to look at doing, proper branding, good customer experience, really building out proper brands that people start to recognize within your space. And that's how you kind of compete against Chinese that are doing these underhand tactics and stuff.
Yeah.
What counts as grey hat on Amazon?
I'd say probably search find buy, like I'd say is probably, it's not so black hat, it's probably more grey. If you're in search find buy like groups which existed, and there was big platforms that existed, but then they got pinged and kind of shut down. So yeah, I don't know. It depends on what
even things within your inserts, like technically you're not really even supposed to like put your company website or even ask for a review. Like there's a lot of things that are kind of like if you really go into the terms and conditions, it says that you probably shouldn't do it. But everybody kind of does it. But then there's stuff that's just like clearly black hat, you know, like there's Chinese sellers that are still incentivizing reviews. So saying, you know, you'll get a free gift if you leave a 5-star review, stuff like that. And they're getting away with it still. There, you know, there's people that are merging listings where they'll have like 3 candles and then it'll be like a completely different product that's already got a ton of reviews, and they'll merge the listings so that it looks like that product's got like 500 reviews, and then you actually read the reviews underneath and it'll be like a candle listing, and then it'll be like, yeah, this is a great pump for my bike, I really like it, and you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So
Jackie's eyes just lit up at that, by the way.
Yeah. I'm ready.
I think what's interesting about it though is if you dive into the Facebook groups, like we look at the Facebook groups in our niche, and a lot of the time customers are actually posting links to products on Amazon, and you read the comments, and customers are getting very savvy now to the fact that these Amazon reviews can't be trusted all the time. Like they really start to take notice of those types of things. So, you know, even if I think the black hat tactics that the Chinese sellers are using are almost becoming a little bit less effective as customers are starting to trust reviews and stuff like that a little bit less.
Tell you one thing they use as well. If you ever go on a listing and you see the question section, so people ask questions, you'll see a brand new listing come out. It'll be like a week old, and they'll be like, "Is this product good for X?" And then you get like this huge kind of SEO stuffed answer where it's clearly just the seller and someone's pitched a question, and they've like, but the way they've written like a really formal answer. It might be from like ChatGPT or something. So you see that. I think that's probably great because it's not. I don't think Amazon can police that well. But for us, like Alex said, yeah, for us it's a case of it. I think people try those tactics a bit more if they're selling shit products. Like if you should do good product development and you should sell. You know, you shouldn't be worried about reviews, about getting reviews in general. If you have a good product, you'll get good reviews, and that's kind of how we view it. So people that game it, you know, you could be a year down the line, your account gets shut down, then you're screwed then. So for us, we'd rather kind of play it pretty white.
All right. And well, for example, what about sales still drives rankings, right? Like full stop. That's still a major factor because like Amazon wants to make money, right? And to get sales, I guess you can do one of two things. You can run traffic, external traffic, maybe build an email list, and then do a launch, or you can do like PPC. Back when I used to do it, like Amazon PPC, and you start off like at a lower price and then you increase it. Does that still work? That's like fully white hat, right? That's
yeah. I'll probably butcher this, so Alex might want to jump in, but Fat Joe, it was on previous episode with you guys, so he's a friend of ours here in Barcelona. So we actually after speaking to you, Jackie, I know, do you know what it was the episode where Tom was on and he said about ranking on Google for his products and how kind of easy it was, and we spoke a bit in the messages. So I spoke with Joe about it, and one of our best sellers, he placed some backlinks on, which I don't think is very common in this space. So he placed some backlinks on our listing, and it went really well. So it ranked really quickly for a lot of decent search terms. Not like the search volumes on Amazon are a lot bigger because people are going on there just to shop, but definitely didn't hurt. So that works. It's hard to excuse me. It's hard to attribute everything perfectly. That the attribution on Amazon isn't that good from things that are coming external, but supposedly that does help you rank organically. And then PPC is massive. Like it's become more prevalent over the last couple of years, and you have to have a like really dialed in PPC game because it's so easy to burn cash on Amazon as it is with Google Ads. But yeah, of course you can, using a good PPC campaign, it will also help you rank organically. And for us, like the whole game is rank organically. If you're just burning money on PPC, it's going to be pretty hard long term to kind of have a brand that's worth anything.
Right. So I guess like a normal launch nowadays is just PPC most of the time. Man, you know what I used to do on FBA as well that worked really well was I used to go on Micro Workers. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's like Mechanical Turks, but you can't use Mechanical Turk because they're owned by Amazon. But I used to go on there with like campaigns, and I just asked people to add stuff to cart, like add my products to cart, search and add to cart, search and add to cart, search and add to gift. I don't know, like
shopping
the gift
list.
shopping list.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that worked really well. Does that still work? But this was like 2-3 years ago. I don't know if you guys tried this before, but
Yeah, I mean, add to cart's like a huge driver for organic rank. So if you can game it, yeah, it's just again like whether or not you kind of want to, you want to risk getting flagged up with doing that. But yeah, it definitely works.
This is like an SEO podcast, right? We sound like absolute pussies, and we don't do anything bad. We're not hacking the system enough.
yeah, people are just gonna rail on you in the comments saying you guys like pussies. No, it's fine. I understand because you guys have something to lose, right? You guys have like a multiple 6-figure a month business, but for someone who's just starting out, like let's be honest. Look at me. I have nothing to lose. I'm Chinese or Asian. I'm gonna crank it, man. I'm just gonna swing for it. Because for me, it's like it's either
Sorry, man. It's like the SEO mentality, right? But then, like, you get a site penalized or whatever. Just make another site, like. But yeah, it's just a bit more difficult with Amazon to do that. And that's what the main.
I think what it is because they can ping you from, it could be 12, 18, 24 months that you did something previous, and they can get you for that. And then by that point, you scaled up and you're sitting on a $250,000 worth of inventory, and then they ping your account. You're kind of fucked. So that's kind of, that plays in your mind a bit more than if it's just hosting a website.
Yeah, fair play. All right. And what levers are you guys pulling in your FBA business right now? Like, are you
Product
guys
development
working
is
on the website? Okay.
So I mean, we're in the process at the minute of actually hiring somebody to kind of do all of the brand marketing. So far we've basically been a classic Amazon brand, which there's debate as to whether or not that is actually like a real brand, or is it you're just kind of selling stuff on Amazon. But the more that we grow the product portfolio, the more we want to have a great presence on and off Amazon. So the big focus for us right now is product development. So we're actually developing now. We're moving away from the typical like private label model, and we're actually developing our own products from scratch. So we've got 2 custom products now that we've paid to have like a plastic injection mold made. So the shape is completely custom. It's taken a long time, but that's the kind of like lever we're pulling, where now we're going to launch these products on Amazon and they're completely unique. So obviously there's always similar products, but if you want the exact product, you can't get it from another seller. So that's huge on Amazon now when it's competitive. So we're really putting a lot of time and focus into creating really great products. We're also looking at moving into a consumable market. So getting a product into the brand that's on subscribe and save, it's just huge for the valuation of the business. And it's an absolutely massive market that we're perhaps looking at starting in Canada first and then moving into the US. But that's the sort of thing that if we crack that, we go from maybe looking at like a 3x multiple on an exit to, who knows, 7, 8x maybe if we can pull that off. So it's obviously, that could be huge for us. So we're really focusing a lot on product development, making sure we're making great products. And then this next products that we're actually launching is going to be a little bit higher ticket. So it's going to be about $70, $80. And then we're actually looking at some products that could be $400, $500. Once we do that, that's kind of going to open up the possibilities to move and do some testing D2C. And then moving back into potentially, to building out the SEO side. Our need, we don't mention the specific brand, but we're in the pet niche, so there's a lot of potential there in terms of, there's a lot of queries around how to do this or how to do that or best whatever. And it's something that we've looked at back and forth a little bit, and it didn't really make sense until kind of recently. But once we've got the product portfolio to a certain size, that's the sort of stuff we're going to kind of look at.
Yeah. How do you capture customer data? Are you doing that? Because you don't get the emails and stuff on Amazon, right?
No, you don't. There's the only real technique. It's one of the main downsides. There's ways. Basically, you have a product insert, so you're going to try and get them to get, I don't know, the classic ones are like sign up for warranty, sign up for a newsletter, get an app or like an ebook, those kind of things. So that's how you try and get them externally. And then we've been doing this for a while now, so we've got a bit of an email list. Not as big as you'd want, obviously, in what you get with D2C, but it is steadily growing. What Amazon have launched is they've got a couple of programs in like beta testing that people can subscribe to your brand, almost like follow you basically. So they've got their own version of kind of Instagram, I say, called Amazon Posts, and they've got something else called Inspire, which is their version of TikTok, but it's based around kind of Amazon influencers. If people follow your brand, they can opt in, and then when you launch a product, you can ping everyone and say that you've just launched. So that's kind of that's early days. So we'll see how it goes with that. But yeah, it's definitely one of the downsides. But you hope kind of for us, the way we look at it is if you can get into a customer's kind of mindset, if your brand's in their mind, thinking of that niche, we're trying to cover the whole life cycle. So naturally, they should, if we can do it from A to Z, then they're going to keep coming back and they're going to recognize your brand, take up as much kind of real estate as you can in specific sub niches, so they can't miss you basically. And then, yeah, like Alex said, if you start seeing comments in big Facebook groups and things and recommendations, and then that obviously just helps the brand grow organically. One other thing, actually, in terms of another lever we've kind of played with recently was influencer marketing, which I think people right at the start, we know that it's really, I mean, I was guilty of this. Alex kind of taught me out of it. At the start, I was like, look, you've got to do an Instagram page and Facebook and all this stuff. And it was like, that isn't going to drive enough. Like, just focus on Amazon at the start and squeeze as much as you can out of Amazon in terms of how many working hours we both had. At the level we're at now, we're reaching out to loads of kind of influencers in our space, sending them free product in exchange of video, and we're seeing like quite nice returns from that. So that's another kind of lever we're going to keep pulling, and kind of building our brand around them, because it's it's proven to work. Like yesterday we had a video, I think she had about 25,000 followers and it got 12,000 likes, which is pretty amazing. The rest of our videos get kind of 1,000, 2,000. So that one really took off and we saw a nice increase in sales in the day. So that's something that we want to kind of work on a bit more.
Nice. Do you know what you guys should do? Since I took a look at like your system right now a couple weeks or months ago, and like, for example, if you guys sell dog food, dude, you guys should totally just like cover everything under the sun about dogs, like best dog food for X, for example. Why don't you guys do that on your site, or have you guys done that? I think when I last spoke, I was like, you guys should do this. Is there a reason why you don't do it with AI now? That shit could be spun up in like a day.
Do you mean creating like a content site, basically?
Yeah, but like with a front of, it's just like a WordPress homepage with, you can show all your products and then have a blog section.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's basically just like one thing that we've not really prioritized. It's like we've discussed it, but we just never really prioritized it. But that's one thing that we kind of want to look at doing now. Everything so far has just been the focus on Amazon, but yeah, maybe you're the one to talk us into doing it, Jackie.
No, man, you're friends with Joe. How is that even possible that he doesn't tell you to do that?
No, he did.
What do you guys even talk about on like steak night if you don't talk about SEO? What are you guys doing?
Andrew
dude?
Tate.
He did tell us.
We've discussed it, but it's like it's not as easy as just throwing up a site, right? Like maybe
it's that easy.
All right, let's do a road test, and then we'll circle back on this podcast in 6 months and see if we're like,
the
top ranking.
We can use my D2C brand as an example. So faranaway.co, the SEOs are all throwing this up on Ahrefs right now. I think it will do like $1,400 on Amazon Associates this month. Not much, but it added maybe, I think we're at like 30, 40K sessions a month from SEO. But this is like, I went broad with this. So like, we didn't only cover stuff about dinnerware. We covered stuff about like best frozen meatballs, best like, I don't know, cooktops, like best pans, et cetera, et cetera. So we went broad. Bad example, but it's another revenue source. For you guys, it could be another revenue source as well. And they'll add like another
Yeah.
Like it'll add to the multiple as well.
To be honest, Jackie, I think like these are all. This is the reason that we're now gonna like hire, because we've got it to 7 figures. Like we basically the two of us got it there, and then at the same time built Honest FBA as well on the side. So that will probably grow pretty confident into a 7-figure business pretty soon as well. So we feel like we kind of got to capacity, and now we're trying to like remove ourselves where we can. So we know we want to employ a good marketing person, want to employ a kind of supply chain person. So we've had bits and bobs, and we've had VAs and we've had customer service, and that's gone well. But for us we kind of realized this the last 3 months, I'd say, is we realize the potential of this brand is so big, and we want to like maximize the exit. Then yeah, we need to do things like that. And that takes us kind of taking a step back, employing good people, and then freeing up the kind of capacity and mind space to kind of execute on those ideas.
Yeah. Because I only know there's an opportunity because I have a site in your direct niche, in the pet niche as well. I don't know if you remember, but I now have 2 sites in that niche. So I'm like the numbers are crazy. So I mean, maybe we can speak afterwards. Like maybe
do you want to sell it?
Sorry?
No,
No, not right now. They're not doing that well. But yeah, there could be like some way we could work together. For example, like a certain percentage on top of the Amazon commission or something like that. Because I have like deals with Thrasio like that, where they like do an additional kickback, and then what I can do is like I just start running PPC there, because then the numbers work out, right? Because I take the Amazon commission plus your additional commission, just like push you at number 1 on these lists. And it's like, oh god, you should definitely do the content idea. Probably try to execute with Joe, but if he's too busy and he's like being like reluctant, send me a message. I've been wanting to invest in something anyways, so
I think like the way that we've always seen it, and it might be wrong, is that like you could potentially spend a lot of time on it, pump a decent amount of cash into it, and yeah, you get a ton of traffic there, but it's mostly just sort of like I said, like the how-to stuff, and does it actually convert into like is the value in getting eyeballs on the brand, or is the value in actually driving sales and traffic? That's been my sort of perspective on it. Is it's not really a sure thing in terms of actually moving the needle. It's just like, okay, you've got a site and it's got 40k sessions a month, but like, what's the actual business growth of that beyond just sessions?
Yeah, I mean, quick examples would be display ads low. It's, I think at 50k it's a measly 2k a month, I would guess. And then on top of that, you can probably get newsletter subscribers on top of that. And you can probably squeeze out a bit more by pushing affiliate like your own products on that certain page. For example, like, I don't know, if you sell dog toys and like, can dogs eat XYZ, you can just be like, hey, here's our dog toy. A certain percentage will always convert. And then when you do launch D2C, you'll have a very aged Facebook pixel to retarget from. And there's just like so many things you can do. Like these are all stuff like James is doing right now, as like he's like a content.
The big one is as well. You can, if you have like pages, all those pages you can link back to your product and collection pages to rank those. And then the newsletter is the big one, because you're capturing all the emails, so I have people interested in that stuff, and you can hit them with, hey, it's Memorial Day sale that just happened. We're doing 20% off, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got a whole list to sell to that interested in that, and know that you sell it from your site. And then you've got that value too, because then you've got all the customer data. As Jackie mentioned, you can retarget if you're doing any of that as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
makes sense. Yeah.
So I guess, I mean, it just sounds like it's like a resourcing issue, right? At this point,
I think it's kind of it's what Tom touched on a little bit then as well. And one thing that we've really realized now is like the key for us for growth as like entrepreneurs, because we're running 2 businesses, is leverage and hiring people, because stuff like that we've overlooked that as an opportunity, because we've got this other, like you say, like the resources. So we've tried to do everything ourselves up until this point almost, and now I think to take us, you know, up to that like next level, like I said, as entrepreneurs, like hiring the right people and building this stuff out. So that is not just, so we're not prioritizing that because we don't have the time. It's like, we'll just hire someone, get that done, and boom. Because really, yeah, we should have done that for sure. But stuff like that has been deprioritized because we've focused on other stuff. But this is what's exciting just about doing this in general and running these two businesses, is just stuff like that. Like when you're saying that to me now, I'm like, fuck, I want to do that now. And we have thought about it in the past, and then I'm like, oh shit, that's a whole nother thing that we've barely touched on. And then when we said the cohesiveness with the two businesses, that's amazing for the Honest FBA students as well to see us doing that, and we can then pass on, you know, what we've learned through doing that for our own brand into the community, so they can learn from that. So that's why, yeah, originally, like we said, we don't want to just completely phase out doing Amazon, because all of this stuff is it all just folds into each other really nicely. So
yeah, with regards to Joe, by the way, at these like steak nights, this is actually what we ended up talking about. We spoke about buying a Facebook group, about buying a website. About 3 times now we've agreed to start a brand together as well, and Joe's going to put some cash in, and we're going to launch a brand in numerous niches. And then he
comes back with a tray of shots, and then it all gets forgotten.
Loses his mind, and we don't see him again for 3 months. So we'll see. He's back in town in a couple of weeks. So we'll see how he is then.
Yeah, amazing. I think he's in New York right now, right?
Yeah.
You guys are like so spread out. But yeah, you guys should totally do it. I'm fully convinced. It's like a no-brainer. If you don't do it, then let me do it for you, and I'll just take a bit off the top, you know, of your final exit. It's fine.
Let's talk. Yeah.
Just take equity in the whole brand.
Yeah. No. Yeah, because I believe I spoke about it. James, remind me, did I talk about like a partnership with a medical brand last time?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like some guy on Twitter reached out to me, huge medical brand, and they want to like monetize better, and like we're utilizing the like exact strategy that I'm telling you right now, but they already have like an existing, you know, audience. And for you guys, it's how I see it is, because you're on FBA already, many people are Googling your brand name, right? So that's like a super powerful signal, because for us, it was like many people were Googling far and away on Google. Google's like, oh shit, who the hell are these guys? So they'll like prioritize them on search. So anything I posted, like what I did exactly was I bought a site that was penalized by Google already, de-indexed that whole site, and then I just moved all the content onto far and away, and now that shit's like rocketing on Ahrefs. So Ahrefs is like an SEO tool. It's just like a traffic estimator. It's like fucking mooning. Like we are literally out here, and like it's great. So yeah, you guys.
Jackie, would you say like writing this content, because you said just before like get AI to do it, like is that, I've not really followed how AI is impacting SEO, but like what's the kind of like at the minute, what's the score there? Is that a legit way to do it at the minute? Like
AI, I would say it's a great way to validate for you guys. So what I do if I were you is I would just get AI to write like 50 articles. Like if you guys sell dog products, just do like can dogs eat, you know, and then let AI finish it, and then you come up with like a bunch of keywords.
I did
throw that up. Yeah, and then do best dog food, best, you know, like dog, like shit dogs eat, you know, like I don't know, like best dog toys, etc.
Best shit dog eat.
I can see the article now. Shit dogs eat.
Yeah, exactly. No, but just like build like a topical dominance around like dogs that way, and then go from there.
Well, funnily enough, someone in our niche, I don't know if we spoke about this last time, but because when we were on the podcast with James, we were saying like people with your background, with SEO backgrounds, you can kind of do this in reverse and build up authority and then go into a niche, like a really specialized niche. So someone in our space, they have a blog, essentially a really big blog that had a shit ton of traffic. And then last year they launched their first product on Amazon, obviously put themselves number one of all their top 10s, and they're killing it. They absolutely killed it from the offset. So like,
really?
we know it can work. And that's we looked at them from day one when we started this brand, and Alex's background is a bit of it is SEO as well. So we kept kind of discussing it, and then it's just been a case of like not really prioritizing it, but for sure it definitely works like 100%. So it's something that we'll have to get around to doing.
Oh, so they did like the, I don't know, similar to what Casper did with Sleepopolis. They like just listed all their products as number one, and then that worked. Like ranking on Amazon as well.
On Amazon, I think they drove ahead of a lot of traffic from external on Amazon. So this particular product was quite high ticket. So for everything that was relevant on their website, they ranked themselves first. But then every other link on there was like almost their competition. So they were getting affiliate money from that anyway. And then obviously, I assume over time they're going to keep moving into more and more kind of sub niches within the overall niche, and then they'll keep putting themselves kind of first.
It's interesting as well because Jackie, I was talking to a friend that's been doing this for fitness sites, and sometimes it can like almost look spammy when you put yourself as number one on a best list. So he was saying they do like buyer's guides, like how you do your buyer's guide section under all your products. Usually, you put that at the top, and the title is like almost like a buyer's guide for X dog food or whatever, and it lists all the things, and it goes products similar to or products that meet these criteria or whatever, and then you put your product within that list. So it's like, hey, these are the criteria you should look for. These are the products that fit this criteria, and obviously your one's the first one in there. So it doesn't look like you're trying like obviously selling your own product. It's like you're like, this just happens to meet the criteria. Apparently that's doing well too.
Yeah. But dude, that just sounds way too complex. I feel like the average buyer, I don't think they're up there in terms of like savviness. They're just when they're searching best dog food, they're literally going through the list, right? And they're clicking each link and then they're checking them out. I guess that's what I'm just watching how my mom shops, and that's just how it is. Or my dad,
I watched my wife's mum was buying a camera last year, and she the way I view Amazon, I like naively viewed it through my lens and like shop around, I read some reviews, I go on a few listings. She clicked this like camera, she bought the camera, then she bought the camera case, typed in like Canon C50, right, top one, right, okay, add to basket, right, click this, and it said frequently bought, do you want this? Yep. And she did it twice, the upsell, yep, check it, 2 minutes, close the laptop, and I was like, is that how you shop? She was like, yeah, of course. Like, why would I look at everything else? They're the best reviews. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, it's wild how the power of it. And like, like a lot of, that's why you really think about the demo of your brand. Like how, think about that when you're doing all you're kind of building your listings and building your PPC. Because if you're like, I think you can fool yourself thinking like, I'm ranking 13th for a keyword. Okay, well, hardly anyone seeing you down there in some niches. So you're not really winning.
Yeah. Yo, let's do like a fun exercise for James. So like I actually opted him out of starting an FBA brand because of my terrible experience, but I'm sure you guys can pull him back in. So let's say he ranks for the equivalent of, I don't know if you want to say, James, but like best, let's say best sorry?
Just say best protein powder.
Yeah, best protein powder. He ranks for best protein powder. Like number one, like a huge keyword. Gets tons of traffic. He pushes a lot of affiliate sales to another vendor already. Would you recommend him to launch a protein powder on FBA, like on Amazon?
I mean, to launch a protein powder on Amazon, you're probably going to need like high six figures, unless it's like a very specific protein powder. But like that, I mean, you just pick like one of the biggest niches on Amazon. So like, you could have like, if it wasn't something as competitive, then yeah. But like, it's a massive advantage to have that existing traffic. And if you're pushing it through to affiliates, then you may as well replace some of them with your own products for sure. So yeah, if he had the actual capital to keep up with the sales, because like those supplements niches, they're just like, it's just a huge cash game with those. It's like you really need to be bankrolled to compete in those niches.
Well, if I was going to do it, I'd do it straight D2C through that Supplefull site, because they essentially private label dropship it, but they just don't have the right products currently that I would want to sell. And then at least that way.
The thing with dropshipping on FBA is you don't.
Well,
do you mean
I
like
wouldn't do it FBA? I would do it.
Oh, okay, got you.
One. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
and at least in the beginning, if they have the products eventually. Right now, their products aren't good enough, but maybe in the future.
Yeah,
I would say like with niches like that, and depending on where you source. So if you're sourcing products from China, which most people do, it's way harder to get like payment terms with the Chinese. So over time you might get some, but it's traditionally you're paying for the whole. There's 30% down and then 70% to leave the warehouse, and then then you're shipping it to the US. That's like 30 days. Then you've got to sell through it. So like the cash conversion cycle is really slow. I think if you can do something like supplements or feed. So something that we're doing recently is we're looking at this product Alex mentioned in the kind of feed space, and we're looking at the North America because if we can shorten up that cash cycle, then we don't need as much up front. But also with the companies in the West, it's much easier to build a relationship with them, and you can kind of really lay out your vision. So if you can go to a company and say, look, I am number one on Google for this search term. I send X amount. I drive 10,000 sales a week for this product. I want to launch my own brand. Do you want to be a partner? And like, okay, they're much more likely to give you like net 30 or net 60 payment terms. So you don't actually need $500,000 up front. You could almost do it with a lot less. You obviously still got to pay for your marketing materials and your graphics and your videos and stuff. So you definitely need some budget, and for PPC because it's going to be hyper aggressive on this is regarding Amazon. But if you can leverage what you have on Google, then that's something to consider, and building more of a partnership with a Western kind of producer of goods.
Yeah, I don't know if the protein powder was a good example. It would be more like, because it's not that competitive, right? What you're ranking for?
It's relatively
James?
competitive.
It would be more like best running shoes or best running like waterproof running shoes, shit like that. Like you have a lot of that, which is I'm like pretty sold that James should at least dabble. What's like the minimum quantity?
To be honest, though, like
quantity, like
it's how that's like the question we get asked the most is how much money do you need to start Amazon, and like how much stock should you order. But the thing with that is what you could do. This is something that we haven't done that much, to be fair, but you can test really. So if you knew the quantities of using the tool like Helium 10, see what the top sellers are doing. Realistically, when we launch a product, we want to have usually 3 months of inventory, and we go super aggressive. The launch phase is 3 to 6 months, really. All we care about is ranking. We're not focusing on profits, but we want to have enough cash and enough inventory to be able to go hyper aggressive for that time. But what you could do is, let's say you want to target a month or 2 months of sales as a test run, have that much inventory, kind of prove your theory out, and then you can just relaunch under a new ASIN, like a new listing, the same product again. But this time, it works. Because if you go out of stock and then leave it 2-3 months out of stock,
dead, right?
Yeah, you're kind of sending too much bad data to Amazon, so it's harder to revive that product. But if you want to just literally relaunch the exact same product under a new ASIN, that is an option as well, and that could work. I think what we don't know is like how Amazon view your account at that point in terms of are you an account that regularly has things that go in and out. And is there any negatives with that? But I think it's a viable option. If it's a massive commitment and you want to just test the waters, then that could definitely be an option as well.
But why would someone decide to go Amazon FBA if they say they had the traffic on the site, to go Amazon versus just going straight Shopify?
Because then you haven't got to fulfill it or anything. I mean, you can use 3PLs, can't you? But
I just mean like going through like straight D2C, doing it that way. Say you have a 3PL, you go through Shopify, you own, or you have the customer data, all that kind of stuff, versus sending them to Amazon to buy.
Yeah,
I would do both, to be honest, if I had the capacity. I think most people don't go starting with D2C. If you've got that authority already, great. Most people haven't got that from the start. So obviously acquiring a customer is way more difficult and way more competitive. Whilst on Amazon, customers are on there ready to buy straight away. So they're kind of handed in the acquisition cost almost.
Yeah, but James, also like the conversion rate on Amazon is way higher. Like way higher. So my Shopify store, which is completely optimized, like A/B tested for like 3 years on heavy like mid 5-figure like spend every month, is at like 0.5% conversion rate, but it's high AOV. Like, but on Amazon,
like
similar
10%.
products would go for like 10 to 15%. It's just it's
And that makes up for the fees that you have to pay to sell on Amazon, basically.
Yeah. Like people have done the calculations on selling on Amazon and like the damages it can do to your D2C brand. But most of the time, I think I've heard some like strategies that they do is like you have like a slightly different variant on Amazon versus like on your D2C side. Maybe you bundle on D2C, like so on and so forth. So there's a differentiator, so you don't like cannibalize your own products. But yeah, there's like D2C Twitter is quite interesting. Are you guys following like the people there? They're like insanely savvy.
Yeah. The guy, the sword guy is good, isn't he? The one who's
Maybe Katana.
Yeah. He's killing it, isn't he? It's essentially like a YouTube channel. Do you listen to Limited Supply, like e-commerce podcast? Moise Ali and Nick Sharma.
No, but I know them. They're like insane.
Moise had Mad Native for like 100 million, and then Nick Sharma. Man, Nick Sharma's like 25, I think, which shocks me. Yeah, man, he's super young. I was devastated to hear that, but
feels bad, man.
Yeah, their podcast is but yeah, that's something that they've got actually a Slack channel off the back of the podcast, which is amazing. To be fair, there's people in there that have got like 9-figure D2C brands, so we're in that and reading stuff, and that's kind of getting us excited to move into that in future.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should wrap up. We like ran over by quite a bit. Where can people find you, Tom? And then Alex, plug yours right after.
So Twitter's probably the best. So at the Honest Tom with some underscores in there, and then we're Honest FBA on YouTube, Instagram. I think we're on TikTok now. We're on TikTok as well. Everywhere.
Yeah. We just started on TikTok. Yeah.
Then Alex, what are you, Alex? The Alex D.
The Alex D on Twitter. Yeah.
Anyone who wants to chat, obviously anything about FBA, if you're interested, just reach out to us. We're happy to kind of talk shop. And obviously, your audience, if you've got the kind of anything like James had by the sound of things there, or Jackie has, then super interested to talk and see how that can be applied to Amazon.
Amazing. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Oh, good, man.
Thanks for having us.